Good afternoon, Hurricanes, and welcome to NewsBreak. Today is September 11th, 2024. I'm Collin Rieck.
And I'm Penelope Gilbert. We start today with Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump going head-to-head in last night's debate, and New York City marking the 23rd anniversary of the September 11th attacks.
Plus, NFL star Tyreek Hill was detained by Miami-Dade police just outside Hard Rock Stadium on Sunday, as well as your weather for the week. Don't go anywhere because NewsBreak starts right now.
Last night, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris met in Philadelphia for the first and possibly the only presidential debate between the two nominees before the November election. The debate was hosted by ABC News. Trump and Harris battled over inflation, abortion, immigration, and foreign policy. Harris pushed for reforms that would help small businesses and families, what she calls an opportunity economy. She says she would bring back protections for women that were guaranteed under Roe v. Wade.
I intend to be a president for all Americans and focus on what we can do over the next 10 and 20 years to build back up our country by investing right now in you, the American people.
Former President Trump pushed back, asking why Harris had not accomplished her goals in her term as vice president. He blamed Harris and the Biden administration for inflation, issues at the border, and global conflicts in Ukraine, Israel, and Afghanistan. And here at home, Trump says Harris and Biden are responsible for an economic crisis.
I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country, because I've never seen a worse period of time. People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else.
National polling data shows the race for president could go either way, and experts on both sides agree that the debate will influence voters. We will cover the election, issues, and impact on NewsBreak throughout the semester.
Today marks the 23rd anniversary of the September 11th terror attacks. In New York, the 9/11 Memorial and Museum will host its annual commemoration ceremony. The ceremony will honor the 2,983 lives lost during the 2001 attacks and the victims of the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center.
Thank you all for joining together for the 23rd anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks. I'd ask if everyone can honor a moment of silence for those who we lost that day.
The ceremony takes place on Memorial Plaza, where moments of silence will be observed, marking the exact times the plane struck the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and the crash of Flight 93 in Pennsylvania. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris attended the ceremony following a heated debate, with President Biden, J.D. Vance, and New York Governor Kathy Hochul also in attendance. The ceremony is dedicated to the families of the victims, honoring those who they have lost.
In local Miami news, shortly before the Dolphins-Jaguars game on Sunday, football star Tyreek Hill was forcibly restrained by Miami-Dade police.
Reporter Sumner Bradley has the story. Sumner?
Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill was detained by Miami-Dade police right before Sunday's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. According to officials, Hill was stopped for a traffic violation, but the incident escalated after an altercation with police. Police body cam footage shows the officer approaching Hill's car and a confrontation that spiraled after Hill refused to lower his window fully. Things escalated quickly as Hill was handcuffed but released shortly after. Despite the incident, Hill went on to score an 80-yard touchdown later that game. The Miami Dolphins have released a statement criticizing the police's, quote, overly aggressive actions. The team expressed gratitude that the situation didn't escalate further, but urged Miami-Dade authorities to take action against the officers involved.
Who would have thought after George Floyd that we would still see people treated like this, unfairly and unnecessarily? If Tyreek wasn't a world-class athlete and in incredible shape, who knows how this could have impacted him.
The Miami-Dade police are defending their actions, saying that Hill was uncooperative.
Before we go, weathercaster Ashley Fanning has updates on your weather for the week. Ashley?
Thanks, guys. For today's weather, we're going to be looking at high rain chances that are going to continue across southern Florida as we go throughout the day. And then we're also going to be looking at Hurricane Francine, which is going to be making landfall later today in southern Louisiana. And then we're going to be looking ahead in the tropics at a couple areas of interest that might pose a threat in the coming week or two. For the current weather this afternoon, we have a high of 88 degrees and some scattered thunderstorms. The important part about those scattered thunderstorms is that when they do pop up and occur, they're going to be heavy. So if you're in the Miami-Dade metro area and even southern Florida as a whole, you're going to be on the lookout today, especially for those heavy rain chances. For Hurricane Francine, it's going to be making landfall in southern Louisiana, so if you're on that rightmost quadrant of the storm, be on the lookout for the highest tornado potential, and if you're along the coast, it's important to keep track of those heavy rains and watch all of your local watches and warnings. For the NHC wind radii, this is basically a big swath of the strongest winds that are going to occur, and then we have a smaller red swath of the hurricane force winds, which are going to be impacting the coast as it makes rainfall. So again, please be on the lookout for these strong winds and heavy rains. Some tropical areas to watch. We now have Tropical Depression 7. As it moves across the Atlantic, we'll definitely be wanting to track that, but it's hard to tell what it's going to do right now. So as we go into this week's forecast, we have highs of 80 degrees into the 90s, rain at the end of the week, and then as we go into this weekend, it should be pretty nice, so it's going to match up to be a pretty nice week. Back to you guys.
American actor James Earl Jones, widely known for voicing Star Wars villain Darth Vader, passed away at the age of 93. He died early on Monday morning, and his agent said he was surrounded by his family.
Numerous celebrities, including Mark Hamill and Kevin Costner, took to social media to pay tribute to the actor.
It is clear he'll be remembered and dearly missed. Thank you for joining us on this episode of NewsBreak. We will see you back in the studio on Friday. Have a great day, Hurricanes.